Have you ever booked a cruise and then you're instantly filled with fear, wondering, have I made a mistake? Well, that's how we felt after we booked our first Holland America cruise. We'll be going to Alaska on a 7-night cruise on the Koningsdam, and we have some questions and some fears. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Ken, and this is Northern Viking Explorer. And today we're going to be sharing our 10 fears or questions with you that we have about our upcoming sailing on the Koningsdam. And the way this is going to work is our present selves are going to ask those questions. Then we're going to bring in our future selves from after the cruise to answer them, hopefully relieving some of our fears and answering our questions. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. Well, are we the wrong age for Holland America?
That's a good question. I wonder if this will be a multi-generational cruise, if it'll be mostly seniors or lots of families. I'm not sure what to expect because I've heard that Holland America tends to go for an older demographic. However, it is summer holidays.
Yeah, we're sailing at the beginning of July 6th to be exact. So a lot of kids are on summer holidays and...
Will we fit in?
Yeah, will we fit in, or will we feel like we're on the wrong ship because of age? Well, we are back from our Alaskan cruise on the Koningsdam, and let's go ahead and answer the question.
Well, I felt like I fit in on this cruise. Did you feel out of place?
No, I felt like I totally fit in on this cruise. It was wonderful.
It was. There were definitely more retirees on this cruise than we've seen on other cruises to Alaska.
I would agree. There was more retirees and an older demographic than when we've sailed there on Royal Caribbean or on Norwegian. But I would say, for me personally, I thought it was very similar to Princess.
Although when the comedian made the joke about being married for more than 30 years, most of the auditorium had been. So it gives you a clue that there were definitely a lot of retirees.
A lot more, actually far more children than I thought there was going to be on this cruise. And a lot of multi-generational families. So the grandparents, the families, or the parents and their children were on this cruise. So at times there was a lot of kids in the pool or just around the ship.
That's true. I think there's a lot of families that book this to celebrate big anniversaries or birthdays together. Yeah.
So I would say, again, we did sail in July, so school was out. So lots of different generations. But however, I think the programming or the shows was catered to an older crowd, more so than for kids. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of families on the ship. I would say it's probably a little bit different if school was not in.
You know, I think during the school year, we would find that we may feel young on the ship. Mm-hmm. And I think that our age group would probably make up a smaller percentage.
Yeah.
Do I think I would feel out of place? No, but if I was looking to make a whole ton of friends my age, I might be disappointed.
Yeah, so I guess the moral of the story or the moral of our cruise is we felt like we fit in, especially in summertime while the schools are out and going to Alaska. So what food and beverages will be complimentary and will we like it?
I don't know because I don't like droppies and I know they're Dutch food. So will I be in trouble or will it be good?
You don't like salty black licorice?
I don't. So I hope that's not what's for dinner. I'm sure there's more. But I also want to know, are we going to regret not booking specialty dining? Will we find enough options? Will we like the main dining room? There's a lot to wonder.
Let's find out. So there were 5 main complimentary eating areas on the Koningsdam, and we'll start out by going through the restaurants and maybe a little bit of what they had to offer. The first was the Grand Dutch Cafe.
I really liked the Grand Dutch Cafe. It was cute, it had a good view of the ocean, and it had a lot of Dutch things in it.
Yeah.
Now, what I really enjoyed there, though, was the panacoke, or crepes with the berries and the whipping cream.
That was really good. And they did have pea soup there as well. So there was a Dutch flair for sure. There's different sandwiches, different things that were complimentary. It was connected to the coffee shop. So there was stuff you could purchase there as well, but there was quite a few complimentary options. None of the beverages were included.
That's true. But the food and the decorations and the atmosphere was super cute.
Mm-hmm. Then moving on from there was the main dining rooms on decks 2 and 3 at the aft of the ship.
I love that they call it the main dining room because you know exactly what it is. And now the food was great in there. I was a little concerned that it might be super Dutch and that it wouldn't be food that I would enjoy. Mm-hmm. But I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it was... Most of the meals were similar to other cruise lines, so there wasn't too much of a Dutch flair. The odd thing on there did have, kind of a Dutch resemblance, but there was really beautifully plated dishes.
Very pretty.
And, I don't know, sophisticated dishes.
Sophisticated. You know what? It was a little bit different than the other cruise lines, and I appreciated that because it felt like new options, and a lot of things had Dutch names that I was Googling.
Yeah. And for complimentary beverages there, you could get coffees and teas, lemonade iced tea at dinner. But even at breakfast, they had a wide variety of juices, orange juice, apple juice.
Cranberry. Prune juice.
Yeah, so there was quite a bit there. So that was complimentary, the main dining room. And you could go there. They would... On our sea days, they also had brunch. Mm-hmm. So, and breakfast, I think, on the other days.
Yes.
So there was a wide variety there. Now, from there, complimentary as well, of course, was the Lido Market Buffet. I think that was on deck 9.
That's right.
So this was, I want to say, quite a large buffet for the size of ship.
A lot of variety, and it wasn't just a repeat of the same thing at each station.
Yeah, down both sides. And they did have different stations, and most of it was served up for you. Some of the stuff you would serve yourself, but there was different salad stations, Mexican kind of taco stations, carving stations, kind of traditional meat and potatoes, all sorts of stuff.
Now, most of the food is served on each side of the buffet, but there's not exactly. So circle around the whole thing to really check out and see what you want for the day.
Yeah, the pannekuchens were on the one side.
Yeah.
And the ice cream, I think, was on the other side.
And the cool thing, too, is they actually have a menu for the day, so you can see what they're serving up. It was very cool.
As for complimentary beverages there, they had a huge variety of teas.
Yes.
Lots of different teas. They also had, of course, decaf and regular coffee. There was water dispenser. And then they would serve iced tea and lemonade. And that was all complimentary as well.
And you could always sit in the buffet, and the tea and the coffee were always available there.
Yeah. One thing I did appreciate, they didn't shut it down when it was closed, the buffet. So you could still sit in there. Because we had an inside cabin, it was nice. You could go sit by the window there and enjoy the views and drink coffee.
It was a great buffet.
Yeah, it was wonderful. The next one, dive in, I guess it's called, on deck 9. So kind of outside of the buffet. That's kind of your typical burgers,
hot
dogs, that sort of
fries.
thing. They had quite a few you could choose from out there. You'd order it, and if I recall, they gave you a pager there, and it would kind of buzz when your food was ready. So
convenient outside if you want to be out by the pool. It was nice.
Yeah, I don't think there was any beverages there, if I remember.
I don't recall seeing
I don't remember
but I didn't
seeing
ask.
Any. And then one deck up from there and over to the other side of the ship, I believe, is the New York Deli and Pizza.
Now, I really enjoyed this, especially the custom ordered pizzas. They were really good.
Yeah. So you could order, they had some pre-made that you could just pick up right away. You could order from a list or get a custom made pizza. And they also had sandwiches and they'd serve breakfast there.
They did, yeah.
And during the movies, then they had a kind of a different menu with wings and pretzels, all that kind of stuff. So that was excellent. And they did have iced tea and lemonade and water there as well in jugs that you poured.
Yeah, one of the few places that I saw that was self-serve, which was convenient if you want to quickly get an iced tea or a lemonade.
Yeah, so great dining options that were complimentary on this ship. Now, Andrea, do we regret not booking specialty dining? Because we talked about it.
No, because, and the big reason would be that in 7 days, I didn't have enough time to try everything. If I were doing a 14-night cruise, I think I would enjoy doing some specialty dining.
Yeah.
But being that it was our first time on the Koningsdam and all the food options were new to us, on a 7-day cruise, there was enough variety to try.
I would agree. I feel like there was stations in the buffet I didn't get to try. Just maybe I just had a couple little things from it, but I would have actually liked to have had a whole meal from there. And even there was enough variety in the main dining room that I didn't feel like I was overdoing it with the same thing every night. And even breakfast, I don't feel, we only went a couple times and it was more for the brunch type of thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like had tried everything at breakfast either.
No, I needed a longer cruise.
But the food was great on the ship.
Absolutely.
So we signed up for open seating for our main dining room dinners.
So I'm wondering, though, when we book the times to eat, do we just show up? Do we have to reserve in an app? Where do we go? I don't know how it works.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. So for our open seating in the main dining room, there was a couple different ways that you could kind of make a reservation. The first would be in the app. You could actually go in and select the meal and the dining time and make a reservation. And there was 2 different lines at the main dining room, one for reservations and one without. So we didn't actually do that.
No, we just did walk up and we never waited more than 5 minutes. And we even asked often to be seated by a window if possible.
Yeah, we got a window more often than not. And honestly, the walk-up line was commonly shorter than the people who had reservations.
That being said, if you were traveling with a group, I would make reservations. I would not walk up with a large party and expect to be seated right away.
And I know this can change from week to week with how busy the ship was. Ours was a pretty full ship, so we were surprised how little we had to wait, and we got in right away. So it was wonderful with the open seating. So we are only 5 days away from our sailing, and we booked a guaranteed standard interior cabin. This is where the cruise line picks your cabin for you, and we don't have a cabin yet.
No, we commonly do this, but we usually know a few weeks in advance.
Or even months, yeah.
So should we be concerned?
Should we be concerned that we're going to get a cabin? Are we going to be sleeping in a lounger out on the deck or in the casino?
Hope not.
We'll find out. So tomorrow is our cruise. We're about 24 hours from sail away. We're actually shopping at Tawasin Mills out here in the outskirts of Vancouver, and we just got our cabin. We just noticed.
Yeah, we keep checking the app to see, and we are staying in cabin 8119.
So it's an interior cabin right under the buffet on the Lido deck. So nice and handy, close to the Lido deck. So yeah, we got it about 24 hours ahead of time. A little bit longer than we thought it would take to get the cabin number, but we are set and good to roll.
How do we know what activities are happening around the ship?
I know, should we be downloading an app ahead of time? Will it come printed to our room? Is this something we need to go ask for? I don't know.
There are many ways to know what's happening around the ship, and my favorite was to refer to the printed copy of the daily, which is automatically delivered to your cabin. There's no need to ask for it. It's there for you to look at.
That's my favorite way as well. And the nice thing is, on the first day, it was actually in our room automatically. We didn't have to go ask for it. Sometimes on a cruise, you have to go ask for it on the first day, and it starts on the second day, or they won't even deliver it unless you request it. So I definitely like that came to the room.
I love the paper copy. But my second way I would use would be to download Holland America's Navigator app. There they have everything listed that's happening as well.
Yeah, that was really easy to use as well. You can also book excursions in there. You can see your statement, and there's a free chat app that you can use between your group on the ship.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
There's no cost for it.
Yeah, that was nice to have that for free.
The other way is to look at your TV. There were some options there.
As well as there's screens around the ship that might be showing some of the events or shows that are happening as well. Especially, I noticed outside the theater, it would show what's happening and the times, that sort of thing. So there are definitely a few different ways to know exactly what's happening around the ship. So we're wondering about the entertainment. Do we need to reserve or get tickets ahead of time for the shows? And is it hard to schedule those shows around going for dinner, especially when we don't know our dinner time yet?
I don't know. On our sailing, there were no tickets or reservations for shows. You just simply showed up. I do recommend showing up, though, at least 10 minutes, if not 15 minutes early. And if you're with a larger group, even sooner.
There's commonly seats down towards the front available. But when we showed up about 15 minutes early, we got the seats we actually wanted. So
our favorite spots.
Our favorite spots. I would say it could be a little bit tricky to get to the evening shows if you go for dinner later, especially if you're trying to get to the 7:30 show. So there's a 7:30 and a 9 typically. If we went to dinner around 5 when it opened to 5:30, we didn't really have a problem getting to that first show. Otherwise, it would push to the second show. which can be a little bit tricky because some of the ports we left later into the evening. So all of a sudden there's a whirlwind of people going for a late dinner and trying to get to the second show. So just be aware of that.
It's hard sometimes to fit everything in when you're wanting to watch Sail Away or you want to take advantage of every minute in port. It's not going to always work out, but if you go for that early dinner, you have 2 shows usually to try and get into.
I would say, so there was quite a few, because we were in Alaska, quite a few educational shows, especially in the afternoon. Those were easy to get to, of course, because you are on the ship and you have lots of time. And then for the musical performances or shows in like BB King's or the other music lounges, those were typically after or during the second show later into the evening. So there wasn't a problem in kind of seeing the music in the evening.
I would say, though, that the seating was often limited, though. They were very popular. And so if you really wanted to sit and listen to the music, I would go early for those as well.
So if you're still watching, you're probably enjoying this video. If you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button, it would really help us out in growing this channel to bring more cruising content like this to you.
We are hoping to use our onboard credit to book things like excursions when we get on the ship. Our understanding is that we can't actually use the onboard credit until we get on the ship. So my question is, will there still be excursions that we are interested when we get on the ship, or are they going to be sold out?
We've got a couple in mind, so hopefully they're available when we get on the ship so we can use that credit.
This is a tricky one to answer because we were able to get the excursions we wanted once we got on the ship, but there were a lot of things already sold out, especially the big ticket excursions or the ones that went up into the Yukon and did different things. If you have your heart set on something specific, book it ahead of time.
100%. If you're not going to be fine with missing it, then I would book it ahead of time. We got on the ship and we were one of the first people on the ship, or early arrival on the ship. And about an hour after we got on, we went to go book the train. But we wanted a specific time. We wanted one of the early slots in the day. And there was only 3 spots left, so we booked that right away. So we were happy to get that. There was times in the afternoon, but I'm sure those sold out as well.
Yeah, but however, like we booked the Great Alaskan Lumberjack show the night before we went to Ketchikan, and there were still spots.
Yes, and there's multiple shows. Now, the interesting thing about that is we were one of the sailings that actually tendered for the first part of the day and then docked later when a different ship left. So we got priority tendering into port because we'd booked the excursion. So that's something to think about as well. We were able to get off before people who didn't have an excursion.
And you could
book through the ship.
You could book that privately, and had we, I don't think we would have made it on time.
No, I don't think so either. So the other thing I do want to mention is if there are lots of tickets for the excursion you're after, things like the Lumberjack show potentially, or the gondola in Juneau, I would say, for me personally, I would wait to see what the weather is a couple days before I book them, because I don't really want to go up and hike at the gondola in Juneau in the pouring rain, or if it's fully clouded in and you won't be able to see down at the ship, down to the ships. Something like that, you can book, especially the gondolas, you can book right at shore, even if you don't book it on the ship. So that's something to keep in mind.
If you're flexible, you can wait, but if you know what you want, book it ahead.
Yeah, don't be sad. Book the excursion if you really want to do it. So this one's important to us. Will the pools be heated in Alaska and the hot tubs warm enough?
And will there be enough hot tubs? And will the hours be good? Are they going to close at 8, stay open to 10, maybe midnight? I like when they're open late.
We like going to the hot tub at night, so we will see.
There were 2 main pools on this ship, and I actually like how they were named. It's very obvious. There's the Lido pool, which is the main pool. And then there's the Sea View pool, which is on the aft of the ship with the view of the sea.
Both on the Lido deck.
Correct, yeah.
There is the kind of hydro pool and the spa that you do need to pay extra to use, but the main pools were both on the Lido deck. So at the aft of the ship, there was the pool and then 2 smaller hot tubs.
Yes.
And then at the Lido pool, there was the pool and 3 hot tubs, where 2 of them were small and 1 was larger.
Was big. And the small hot tubs were quite small. Like, I'd say you could put 4 people comfortably, but you're really close if you don't know them.
Yeah. The bigger hot tub, I did go in there. Probably 6 or 7 people were in there when I was in there, and it was fine. So it's right next to the smaller ones and the pool. So Yeah.
Temperature-wise, so the pool was heated. I didn't swim in it.
No, the water seemed like normal pool water. It didn't seem like cold by any means. It just seemed like normal. And the hot tubs were on the warmer side, but not lobster cooking
I like
hot.
lobster, so it was Canada approved, but not lobster hot. If you want like heat therapy, it wasn't that hot.
No, but they were enjoyable and really nice. And the one thing I do want to mention is the main Lido pool it was covered. So when we left out of Vancouver, it was actually open. It was a beautiful hot day. And then as we moved into the sea days into Alaska, they did close the roof. So it was quite warm in there. People were swimming throughout the cruise, whereas we've been on other cruises in Alaska where the weather hasn't been perfect and the pools have been kind of quiet because of that.
I felt like it actually really expanded the general space because when you were at sea and it was a little cooler, that whole Lido deck area was warm then around the Lido pool.
Yeah.
It was nice to sit.
It also didn't seem overcrowded. For the ship being pretty much full, and there was a fair bit of kids on the cruise, it didn't seem overcrowded. It was, especially compared to other cruises we've been on.
Both pools were open to kids. There wasn't one just reserved for adults only.
Yeah.
And it was nice. Now, I'm going to talk about the hours, though. So the Sea View pool, it was open from 7 in the morning until 10 p.m. The hot tubs were from 9 until 10. Yeah. And then the Lido was from 7 to 10 as well. So 7 a.m. to 10 at night. That's
one little wish I had. I wish that, I'm not sure why the hot tubs don't open at 7. And I always love it when the hot tubs are open till midnight rather than 10. I saw people getting kicked out of the hot tubs at 10 and there was a lot of people around there. Just keep it open till midnight. Yeah. Some cruise lines do that, and I don't know why it's getting shut down at 10. We're on holidays. We want to enjoy those things. Keep them open till midnight. So we're worried about how to dress, especially in the main dining room for dinner. Should I be bringing my suit, or can I wear flannel? It is Alaska.
I don't know. I think Holland America is a little bit more formal is my thought, but I also know Alaska can be casual, so I don't know.
We'll see.
In general, I found that people dressed a little more formal on the ship, especially just in the daytime in general. Like it was common that men wore a collared shirt.
Yeah.
Not a lot of sweatpants and casual wear around. I did see some, but not a lot.
On the sea days and around the ship, I did see a lot of t-shirts and shorts. So that wasn't out of place. I wore t-shirts and shorts around the ship. But especially for dinner, almost everyone had a collared shirt or a polo or a dress shirt. I did see the odd t-shirt in there, but yeah, it was a
little more dressy, definitely.
Now, as for pants, you did need to wear pants to the main dining room.
We may have a little story about this.
And when I say pants, you couldn't wear shorts.
Correct.
I think you could for breakfast.
I think so,
I did, and
but
I didn't
let's
get in
not
trouble.
confirm.
Andrea said I could wear like dress shorts to dinner one night.
Well, let's clarify. Ken was complaining he was a little warm. I said, fine, just wear your shorts. It's all fine. It's fine.
And
you're like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, because it's not formal night. It's casual night. Let's just go. Come on.
So I got turned around at the door and had to go put some pants on.
You got in trouble.
Yeah, I got in trouble. But yeah, as for that, it was, colored shirt or a tie, kind of a casual shirt, polo for men, women.
A dress or a skirt or long pants, but shorts were not allowed.
As for formal night, I did see a lot of suits, but not everyone wore suits. Some people just wore kind of, again, the colored shirt sort of thing. I did wear a suit.
I didn't really see tuxes or super formal.
Yeah, so a wide variety for sure. But yeah, we were fine. We kind of dressed how we did for other Alaskan cruises, and we didn't feel out of place. And finally, was it a mistake to book with Holland America for ourselves?
Will we ever book it again? We'll see. So would we pick Holland America Cruise again?
I would book it again, yes. I had a great time.
Me too. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a fabulous time. However, there are some things to consider. If you're wanting a very loud partying cruise,
this was not it.
This was not it.
Yeah.
But this was very educational, relaxing. And if you're traveling with a family and you want it to be really family friendly, I found the shows were very PG, and being that they went on the educational side, it was great for all. You're not going to have those awkward moments.
Yeah, I would say a very relaxing cruise. If you're just looking for, quiet time and just relaxing, not as busy, this was definitely that cruise. And again, this was probably in the busier summer season with more families in it. I would imagine it's probably even a little bit more low key if you're going into the fall when there's not as many kids on the ship. So
if you're looking to relax, I think it's the cruise for you.
Yeah, it's not a party ship. But we had a great time, and we would definitely book with Holland America again. So I hope you enjoyed hearing our 10 fears or questions and the answers of our upcoming cruise on Holland America's Koningsdam to Alaska. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on upcoming videos, because we have plenty of Koningsdam vlogs and other videos coming up that we want to share with you. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, take care.